Hey, so we have been asked to do this special Q&A for the Friday magazine.
Ooh, it's a Swiss magazine, all the way over in Switzerland.
Oh, really? Swiss, in Switzerland.
You wouldn't have guessed.
I'm Florence.
And I'm Reed, and together we are
Come Curious.
a sex advice video blog that talks about everything to do with sex, mental health, and body confidence.
All the good stuff, basically.
Yeah, stuff you need.
As well as working on this channel, we do have other jobs as well. I am a filmmaker at Vice at the moment. We also make erotic films for X Confessions.
Which is Erica Lust. We're directors now. I work in the sex industry and I always have done, whether or not it's porn or behind the webcam. It's just my life.
So we started Come Curious back when we started living together. We were talking about sex all the time. We were like, wait, like these discussions would actually be really helpful for other people that feel weird about talking about these sort of things.
Because we loved talking about them. We couldn't believe that nobody really spoke about anything sex related.
Yeah,
It
and
was
we were ready to be completely open and completely honest and just basically spill all.
Yeah, tell the world our story.
Yeah.
No matter how horrible or dark or exciting it was.
Yeah.
Or nasty.
We actually started putting our videos on Vimeo, didn't we?
We did.
But we soon realised that YouTube had a way bigger platform so that we could actually reach way more people who needed sex education.
Vimeo is still a little bit more artistic and underground compared to YouTube. So especially with sex related stuff, it was just easier to search and type all that stuff in.
Yeah, I don't think you'd see teenagers on Vimeo really looking for that sort of content. Whereas on YouTube, you're always like typing in questions on YouTube, like, how do I do this? How do I fix this? And there'll always be an answer there.
Especially because YouTube and Google are like best friends, and whenever you've got a question, you always ask Google. So if there's a video on it, Google will shove that right to the top.
Yeah, and we also thought that people need sex education that is friendly, not scary, super informative about all the fun things that you can do with sex, because it's not really what we got at school, was it? It isn't only teenagers who need sex education, it is
Everyone. Oh my god, any age, any person, any gender, sexuality, they all need advice because everything changes throughout your life.
Yeah.
And hopefully we are there to be that voice, or just to, give you a second opinion on what you might already want to do.
We're going to be changing throughout all the years that we do Come Curious, so we'll always be updating you on what happens.
Yeah, why not change with us?
Let's get to your juicy questions. The more experience you have,
The better you tend to be at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean, not necessarily like the more sex you have with more people makes you better. It's just like the more times you have sex, the better at it you're going to get. Like anything. The more times you practice the piano, the better at the piano you're going to get.
Practice.
Like, it's exactly the same with sex.
Yeah, practice makes perfect. Of course, if you have a lot of sex with one person, you're going to be a pro at pleasuring them because practicing with their body makes you know how to pleasure them.
Yeah.
But if you want to have sex with loads of other different bodies, that's going to help you sex generally because everybody's so different and enjoys different things.
Yeah, everyone does. This isn't to say that you're going to be like disastrous at sex the first time you have it, because I think the more you study, the more you know, you are going to learn things that way as well, but nothing's going to beat the real thing.
Yeah. Sex positivity isn't something that you learn. You just switch it on and be more positive.
And to truly be positive about your own sex life, just explore what you want to explore. Consent is one of the most important things when it comes to sex.
It helps you establish trust, enables you to let go and explore your boundaries.
When you start feeling uncomfortable or unsafe, that's when you know the boundary has been crossed.
You have to make it known that you're not having a good time. Stop making pleasurable sounds. Stop making any noises at all. And if you want, you can make uncomfortable noises to ease into the, I don't like this anymore.
And if they ask you, are you okay? Then don't be afraid to say, no, I'm not okay. Can we stop doing this? It's important to learn what the less obvious signs of lacking consent is and whether the boundaries are being crossed.
When it goes too far, saying stop and no is a black and white way of saying I don't like this anymore. You can't get confused with that kind of word. It's vital to be aware of your own sexual health.
It includes everything that's going on with your body, physically and mentally, when it comes to sex.
Contraception is key.
Yeah, make sure you're getting all your sexual health checks and using condoms with people that you don't know. So we found it really hard to start opening up and talking about our deep, dark, secret fetishes and fantasies. These are really hard to talk about because a lot of the subjects are seen as wrong in everyday life, because they are. But when it's inside you and in your own head and it's a fantasy and it's not actually you wanting it to happen, it is okay, but it's still really hard to talk about and open up that you're liking these things.
This is the stuff that you're not comfortable about sharing with people. This is the stuff that you go to when you're really horny or when you search on the internet. It can be really hard to verbalise, but we did that in a video recently.
STIs are really difficult to talk about because there is such a big social stigma surrounding them. People see you as dirty, a whore, just someone gross if you have an STI.
Especially because it's when we fucked up and didn't use contraception when we were supposed to. That can be really hard to admit, but you need to make these mistakes to learn from them. Everyone has an STI, or everyone gets one at some point in their life.
Yeah, you'd be really lucky if you didn't.
Yeah, or celibate.
It's also really difficult to talk about things that we don't feel confident that we know enough about. Things like sexual trauma.
Or from a male perspective. I mean, we're females, it's hard to talk about stuff that men only deal with.
But even though these subjects are really hard to talk about, it's so important that we do, even if we have to go out of our way to find someone that can talk about it with us.
Or do at least a little bit of research to give you more info.
Yeah.
So people ask us on our Tumblr blog, we have a little anonymous question section, and generally there's a bit of a pattern going where people tend to ask us how to be more confident when it comes to sex.
Or how to give the best blowjob. That's like one of our most popular questions.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time it's people trying to figure out how they can lose their virginity.
It's normally teens pre-sex where they don't have the experience or the knowledge and they just want to find out more.
Size shouldn't matter, but sometimes it does for a lot of people.
Yeah. We get asked a lot about dick size. Am I too big? Am I too small? Is my vagina too small? Is it too big?
But there are things you can do to tackle these things. It all starts with how you think about it in your own mind.
And figuring out that if it doesn't work with one person, that doesn't mean to say it won't work with another. You might fit somebody else perfectly.
And plus, there are loads of different things you can do with positions and also just alternative ways of having sex, like using toys.
The golden rule is if you notice any genital changes like smells or discharge, stuff coming out, stuff going in, what's going on,
then you probably not got good hygiene. And also, if you're noticing any changes down there, then you should definitely go and check yourself out at the sexual health clinic.
We'd recommend only using water to wash your genitals. You don't want to use any harsh chemicals, especially in your vagina.
And also, we really don't recommend using invasive washing methods like douches because of the same reason. We're incredibly delicate inside and it washes out all the good bacteria. So we recommend that to keep good genital hygiene, you wash once a day with water.
Same with you boys too, you get a lot of stuff in your foreskin. Make sure that's all squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Dealing with rape fantasies and extreme fetishes can be quite tricky. The main thing is understanding that it is just a fantasy and not reality.
And if your partner comes to you with one of these fetishes or fantasies, then talk to them about it. It's all about having good communication. Can you do role play together? What would your boundaries be? Are you even interested in it?
And whether or not you might be worried about something or might enjoy it, communicating that ensures that both of you can have a great time.
don't have any preconceptions when you go into having anal sex. Everyone is completely different.
If you didn't like it in the past, don't be afraid to try it again. We all change.
Anal sex isn't just for men, but they do find it most pleasurable because that's where their G-spot is.
But of course, it can also be really pleasurable for everyone else.
Oh yeah.
As we mentioned before, we find it really hard to talk about circumstances we haven't been involved with, like sexual trauma. But our advice is,
Go and talk to someone about it. I think it's really important to go seek help, whether it's from a friend or a professional. I think it's probably better if it's with a professional because they'll really know how to deal with everything. To be confident, you've got to own yourself and your body.
pleasuring somebody else's body can be really beneficial for building up your own confidence.
And once you see that your own body is giving them pleasure, well, that makes you feel good.
Fake it till you make it. Scientists say that if we fake smile or fake laugh, our brain actually releases good endorphins and chemicals. So, why not pretend being confident in bed with someone? You might just end up believing it.
Mm-hmm.
We get judged every day, not just by the people online, but also the people that we come across in work or at home, friends, family, whoever.
Thing is, it is actually completely natural to judge other people. It's in our nature.
Yeah, we do it.
Even if you're not thinking the nicest things, it happens.
And understanding that is such a release. It's just like they can't help it, we can't help it, as long as you're not a fucking dick about it.
Yeah, I mean, like the people that
are.
take time to comment on our videos about us being whores and sluts and whatever, I mean, that's taking your judgment too far.
Yeah, you just think like, come on man, like, what's going on in your life for you to actually actively write something horrible like that? It must be awful. It's kind of like we pity them. They just don't have the lives that we do.
Yeah, but you know what? We're judging them.
Oh, we are! It's only natural.
I guess the best thing about living now and talking about sex is that there is so much information available to us, like with the internet. So we can learn so much more.
I mean, there's like new communities there. You don't feel as awkward and as weird and as fucked up like you used to back in the old days. Now you can just go online and be like, oh, there's thousands of people like me.
Yeah, it's great. And also people are definitely starting to be more open about sex. I mean, with 50 Shades of Grey coming out, I think that really started people talking, and it also started this BDSM kind of trend in fashion as well, which is kind of cool.
Obviously with the internet there comes a lot of negativity because people can hide behind a fake persona or being anonymous, so people can judge you more easily on there.
And also, weirdly, in this time we're living in now, in 2018, there are still censorship laws coming into place to stop people like us talking about sex freely on the internet. Hello.
What's going on? The best sex advice I was ever given was probably from my mum, who just very simply said, do whatever you want to do when you feel ready. And that kind of opened up the whole doors of just being able to do what the fuck I liked when I wanted.
That's really cool.
She was cute.
I thought it's quite hard actually thinking like who gave you the advice that like is
so
most
hard.
dear to you. I was just thinking that when I met Reed, she sort of introduced what I was always interested in, kind of like BDSM, but I was always a bit too like, oh, do I really want to try that? Like, is it weird? But Reed showed me that it wasn't.
Thank
So
you.
I'd say that Reed gave me some really good advice just to like try new things and experiment with your kinks, and you'll have loads of fun in the bedroom. Thank you so much to Friday Magazine and all the people that wrote in the questions. We really loved answering them all for you, and we hope that they were useful.
They were some good ass questions. We needed to really think about a lot of those. So whoever came up with those, good on ya.
And if you want to hear any other sex advice, tips, discussion videos from us, go on our YouTube channel and subscribe to our channel, and we'll be really happy to let you come into our community of sex positivity. and body confidence. We put up a video every Saturday at 9 a.m.
So come and join us. Bye.
Bye!